keynote speaker with us, Sri G. Asok Kumar, Additional Secretary and Mission Director, National Water Mission, Government of India. I see there's some connectivity issue at his end, so he has joined through his mobile phone. Thank you so much for that, Sri G. Ashok Kumar. Over to you for your keynote address.
Uh, uh, Good afternoon. It's 12 o'clock. Can you hear me and see me?
Yes, we can hear you and see you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Sorry, there is some internet connectivity issue in the office. That's why I could not join early. Nevertheless, I could witness what was being told in the last by the last speaker. Very interesting, because technology is probably the next driving force in this sector, in water sector, and there is a lot of opportunities available. And we had been neglecting the use of technology and use of monitoring devices in water, because we always thought that water is always available and it will be continuously available, until we have realized that there is a major problem coming up. So that is where it is. And we had from the National Water trying to work with the both rural and urban areas for security, and as well as should the waste for better operation. So it's great to see governments also putting its foot to the better water management in urban areas. Though, as I said, from my point of view, the elephant in the room is the agriculture sector, where a lot of water is getting wasted. And in India, the usage of water in agriculture sector is about 85 to 95%, and the rest, all the urban area, drinking water and domestic and industry, all put together, so about maybe about 10 to 12%. So, having said that, there is definitely a lot of scope for improvement in the urban area, particularly the issues of NRM, the non-revenue water, is one major thing which is actually creating problem and concern all over the country, because many of the cities have as high as about 40 to 45%, 50% NRM in the country, whereas countries like Netherlands have reached a very efficient stage of 4% to 5%. So this is a lot of scope for improvement in that sector in the urban areas. But see, there are since we deal with water in agriculture, in rural, in urban sectors, we find that yes, even though there is a lot of connectivity in water and aquifer and all these things, the water usage in the urban area and water usage in the rural area are different. The issues in water management are different in both areas. Even though, I said, probably one of the common solution to both problems in rural and urban areas is to increase the water use efficiency, and also to increase the saving of the water which we get from the rain. That's why the government of India in the last year, in this year, 2021, March 22nd, the Honorable Prime Minister himself launched this campaign, Catch the Rain Where It Falls, When It Falls, a Jal Shakti campaign with the tagline, Catch the Rain Where It Falls, When It Falls, which is essentially a decentralized storage of rainwater. We get copious rainfall, particularly Madhya Pradesh and all area. If you remember, in the last couple of months, there's a lot of rainfall. There were floods in some of the areas. Rainfall is not a major area, except probably some sort of areas of Bundelkhand and all area. But still, if we can properly manage our rainwater better, and we can conserve the rainwater, probably a large extent of our water woes can be addressed. Our storage is very poor, our surface storage is very poor, and the groundwater extraction is very high, and groundwater storage is very poor. So that's where the Catch the Rain campaign comes, and it is being implemented. And let me tell you with all humility that in the last 4 months, we could do more than 35 to 40 lakh of rainwater harvesting structures in the country, spending almost 55,000 crore rupees all over the country. And out of that, 46,000 crore is just from the Manrega in the rural areas. So urban areas, as I said, there are separate issues which can be tackled. And I'll come to the urban areas, because in the rural areas, probably you have large area for catching the rain. Your demand goes more for agriculture, and there are ponds available. There are other traditional water bodies available in large numbers in rural areas, which, and there's probably a better audience who would appreciate the value of water, because water is very essential for the agriculture. Now, coming to urban areas, the issues are different. The SDG definitely says about the universal access and universal equity of access in water, but in urban areas, the quality of water is of very importance, because in rural areas probably the irrigation can take a little bit of less quality water, and semi-treated water can be used for irrigation. But in urban areas, primarily the water usage is for drinking water purpose. So, and the quality is very important. Quality and quantity are important, but the quality is also probably a much more importance than in the rural areas, because it's mostly used for drinking purposes. There are other issues in urban areas, like urbanization and compaction of the ground reduces the permeability of the soil, and concretization and tiles of surfaces, more road areas, more car parking with concretes, and less open area for parks, etc., has really, and coupled with the change in rainfall pattern in the last couple of years, has really made a very uh, difficult for the rainwater to go down to the ground, and which also leads to a very frequent urban flooding in the last couple of years. So this is a unique problem which we have made called upon ourselves in the last couple of years, due to urbanization and concretization, the urban flooding, and less water problems, less water getting sink into the ground, and which leads to shortage of rainwater, shortage of water in summer, and more tankers pressed into service. This is the and another thing in urban areas is, due to the pressure of real estate, there are a lot of traditional water bodies there which have disappeared. Traditional water bodies like lakes and ponds which used to exist in the urban sector as getting released, disappeared because of the encroachment. Then of course, the another problem is the shortage of open surface area, because wherever small plots are available, people make the buildings, and then rooftop rainwater harvesting structures has to be addressed. So the issues in urban areas are different from from rural areas, but there are also many positive aspects in urban areas which can be tackled. The people are very educated and probably more receptive to the new ideas. They probably have higher paying capacity. The availability of sewage water and grey water, another very good source for getting it recycled. Multiple use of water is possible here, because we find that a lot of potable water is used for non-potable purposes in urban areas, because the problem is of water pricing. Pricing is not being done properly, even though many of the cities get water from far off areas. By Hyderabad, I know, because I was working as MD of the Hyderabad Metro Board. We get water from 186 kilometers away, from Godavari, from Krishna, about 100 kilometers away. Pumping and treating that water to a very high level of quality for the users. So the cost of water coming into the city is very high, but I find that many times, because of the leakage in pipes and because of the intertwining of sewage and pipelines, the water do get contaminated, which leads to the extensive use of ROs in the cities. And the ROs actually waste a lot of water, because 50% of the water, RO reject water, is again wasted. So we have to have access that issue, address that issue of RO water wastage, which can be put to multiple use for washing the vegetables, etc., or then using it for mopping the floor and then washing, or putting into plants. So there is tremendous scope available in urban areas for recycling the sewage water. And grey water, again, that's another major area which do not require too much of investment for cleaning the grey water, but 80% of the water we take in the urban area can come back as sewage or grey water, and can be recycled very easily. There are potential due to density of population, there is potential of using automatic breeders, and then SCADA can be used to monitor the availability of water. gated communities and apartment complexes are another very, very unique facilities of the urban areas, where the community can probably do the decentralized management of STPs and also the rainwater harvesting sector. Land use pattern can be controlled when better planning for water security can be done. And there's, as I said, tremendous scope for reducing the NRM. So these are some of the positive aspects of urban areas. But I'm sure that the Jal Jeevan mission, which is being launched for the urban areas, will address some of these issues, because we have to fulfill the goals of the SDG of universal access to water and equity of access to water. But along with it, probably we'll have to make the people understand the right value of water, or pricing of water properly has to be done, and then look at decentralized system of water collection as well as sewage treatment. So now most of the urban areas, the treatment of sewage is actually done in some corner of the city, taking all the dirty water to some corner of the city, then treat it and bring it back. So probably we should have a better planning where you have a lot of things decentralized. The communities or the presence of resident welfare association, another great boon in urban areas. If they can be roped into for better water management, probably we can have a decentralized storage of water as well as decentralized handling of the sewage, which can really improve the circulation of water in that area. And there are cities which are making a lot of money using or selling this selling this treated sewage water for industrial purposes. I can quote the example of Surat, where they get almost 140 crores of rupees every year for as revenue for by selling the treated water. So there is this also we should look into the planning, treatment and use of this sewage and treated water, and use of this wastewater back to circulation, provided provision of dual pipes in the apartment complex, etc., so that these potable water is extraction of potable water is minimized, and the non-potable purposes, the treated water can be put back, or grade water treated to a fairly good quality can be used for flushing, etc. There's that can be done. Then in urban
Ashok
area,
sir,
we
if I can just ask you, what are your vision and thoughts for rural Madhya Pradesh and Har Ghar Jal?
is it for rural area or urban area we're talking about?
Sir, rural.
Oh, I thought it was. Sorry. I was under the. So I thought it was basically PM is launching
No,
the.
sir, it's always enlightening for us to
No,
hear
okay.
you and know from you. But if you
Okay.
can just share your vision on Madhya Pradesh rural ecosystem and Har Ghar Jal.
2-3 minutes, because I was under the impression it was an urban area. So okay, in rural areas, the catch the rain campaign is one which is going on very well. So please concentrate on catching the rain in the in the rural areas by desilting of tanks, by increasing the volume of tanks in the areas. You can look at, see, हर घर घर जल में होना चाहिए, very good, but unless you have water, the taps will provide only air. So we should have a source sustenance, and source sustenance is very important in the sense like the water tanks and sufficient the water is made available throughout the year. This can be only possible if the rainwater is harvested. So rural areas have a tremendous opportunity of ensuring the rainwater is captured, and the tanks and the traditional water bodies are put to good use for catching for storing this rainwater. And in another area in the rural areas is actually reducing the demand. So if you have the Har Ghar Jal mein, one very important thing which we should have in these areas is making the people aware about the keeping the source of water clean. So you find in many rural areas people using the source of water for washing the buffaloes, etc. So you should ensure that the source of water is kept clean, and in and around where the water is taken up for the storage of the water in the tanks should be kept clean. Second, you should ensure that the storage of the water tanks are cleaned very periodically, so that the any contamination in that water in the tanks is addressed. And the most important part is making people aware of the value of water. And when the water availability comes to the homes, there is a high potential of or high chance of water being wasted. Because now they are walking large distance and taking a lot of water. They are very probably they are very precious water. They conserve it. But if the water is coming at the home, probably there is a potential or possibility of keeping the tap open and water getting wasted. So wastage of water has to be avoided. We will have to continue to use their restricted water use. The not the If you get sufficient water, you can't take bath in five buckets of water, which they used to do earlier in one bucket of water. These are the type of the awareness has to be created in the rural areas for ensuring that the sustainability of the Jal Jeevan mission. And the last point is women, who are the most important aspect the drinking water segment in the rural areas. They have to be brought in the picture. There has to be a very high gender sensitization in this, and they should be made responsible for the maintaining the quality, or sitting and ensuring that the water bodies are kept clean and all. And see they should be very key, play a key role in the water management in the villages. So this is what I would say for the rural areas. My The underlining point is that we should catch the rain where it falls, when it falls, and store maximum rainwater, so that the source sustenance is done, and the source cleanliness is ensured, and the water is properly used without wastage in rural areas. Added to that, if we can do some demand side management, where we reduce the water usage in agriculture, and probably use crops which are uses water uses water less, and probably better irrigation facilities like micro irrigation, etc. We can save a lot of water, which adds to the water security. So that's what I would say. So I'm sorry I was confused and gone on to the urban sector area. I wish the team all the best for Jal Jeevan Mission. It's a very ambitious target of the Prime Minister, addressing one of the prime and basic and fundamental necessities of life. And definitely, our women folk will definitely get better facilities and better quality of life with the water available in tanks. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That was G. Ashok Kumar, Additional Secretary and Mission Director, National Water Mission, Minister of Jal Shakti, Government of India, very senior bureaucrat in Government of India, has got huge experience in various sectors, especially in water sector. And just to inform Dr. Tejasvi Nayak, Mr. Raman, and Mr. Akul and Mr. Avinash Das, the Catch the Rain campaign was a brainchild of G. Ashok Kumar, which started 1.5 years back, and now which has been officially incorporated in Jal Shakti Abhiyan Part 2. That has been a transformational initiative for creating awareness on rainwater harvesting. And you're rightly saying that we have to aware the rural household about the importance of water source, also importance on the water itself, and also making ensuring women empowerment happens, because if water is there, entire rural socio-economical structure will be changed. Thank you so much for his wisdom, Sir G. Ashok Kumar.